Keep
Okay,
going.
you can cut it? Okay. The 13th Amendment is for issues of title of nobility. Let me get through a very short explanation. A title of nobility is a title that removes you from the masses, if you will, from the serfs, the indentured servants, to the aristocracy. Everybody understands that in order to be an attorney, look up what attorney means, to turn. But in order to be an attorney, an accredited attorney, you have to be a member of the bar. Now they'll say it's the state bar, but that's really not true because the state, any given state, has absolutely nothing to say about the bar. And why is that? Oh, because the bar is an acronym. It stands for British Accreditation Registry. That means that once you pass the bar, you are accredited and registered under the British Crown, i.e. the King's Bar. Hello. That's why you get a title of nobility, Esquire. Esquire is the second from the bottom of titles of nobility. First title of nobility is Page, then Esquire. Now, there might be some variance there, I'm not too sure, but that's what I understand at this point. So why is this relevant? It is relevant because you are barred as an attorney, as a lawyer, as a member of the bar from holding any public office. That's according to the Constitution, 13th Amendment thereof. The Constitution for the United States of America. The reason I'm emphasizing for is because there are two constitutions. Most people don't know that. The first Constitution, the only lawful Constitution, is the Constitution for the United States of America, written and passed and made lawful 1787. The second Constitution actually started in 1868 when a Scottish company formed a corporation in Washington, D.C., and the name of that corporation was United States of America Incorporated. They finalized the corporation as in taking over the United States, District of Columbia, in 1871. It was further finalized in 1877. The Constitution of the United States of America, 1871, is actually the bylaws for a foreign corporation, because the foreign corporation was formed by a corporation out of Scotland under the control of the British Crown. Get it? A little bit more trivia. If you have any idea about Social Security, check into the Social Security. You'll find out the Social Security is owned and managed and supervised or controlled by the British Crown. So your security, if you're getting Social Security, how much you get and all that kind of stuff going on in your Social Security is decided by the British Crown. Hello. So back to point. We have this election that's come up, and I happen to know the 13th Amendment. Now, I'm going to hold this up again, and I want you to, in the middle of the page, it says 13th Amendment. Right there. See this part right there? I want you to look at it. I want you to look at it, freeze the frame if you have to, and read it. What this amendment says is that anybody that has a title of nobility has lost their citizenship to the Republic. They're no longer citizens of either the Corporation United States of America or the Republic of the United States of America, because they became citizens, esquires, of the King's Bar. And they cannot hold public office. Hello, they cannot hold public office. Read it.
So what does that mean for Kamala Harris and Biden?
Thank you for asking. There's a lot of discussion going on right now about the fraudulent ballots. And all of that is very, very, very important, because all of those ballots, not all of them, vast majority of them, were all fraudulent. That's the way the Federalists, feudalists, Democrats, see, people don't even understand who the Democrats are. It's not a surprise that the Democrats want to return to feudalism, federalism, aristocracy, because they were originally the Whig Party. They didn't want to secede from England's control, from the Crown's control. They have always been under the illusion that freedom was not a good idea. We should stay under feudalism, federalism. People just don't get it. You think we live in a democracy. Well, let me give you that piece. Democracy is demonocracy. Demos is a root word. That. So, let me explain that. Under a republic, everyone has a vote. Everyone has a yes or a no. If my no is no, it's no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, I don't participate. No one can interfere with my free will. That's a God principle. God gave us free will. He will not even violate our free will. Right? So, where is the problem? Problem is we live supposedly under a demonocracy, and that's mob rule plus one. Okay? So, our will is subverted. Now, back to make this kind of quick and short, because I don't want anybody falling asleep on the job here. Biden and Harris were put on the ballot, and both of them are attorneys. Both of them are members of the bar. Both of them have titles of nobility. It doesn't matter if you're still practicing attorney or not. You were given a title of nobility, therefore you have ceased to be a citizen of the republic. So let's say for just a moment that Biden and Harris were elected as president and vice president. It doesn't matter, because they could not be sworn into office because they're not U.S. citizens. They do not belong here. They are citizens of the King's Bar. They are under the authority and control of the King's Bar. They're bar members. And it says in the 13th Amendment, which is the lawful amendment to the Constitution, not the Emancipation Amendment. That was a lie. And if you looked it up and paid attention, you'd find out that that was a lie. Okay? So, here's the deal. Even if everything was good, which it wasn't, they've all proved that, fraud one layer after another, but even if it was all good, Biden and Harris constitutionally cannot be sworn into office because they cannot hold public office. That's it. Now, I have prepared a lawsuit. It's being reviewed right now. By the end of this week, coming up, I'm hoping that'll be this Friday. Today's date is the 3rd of December. So hopefully before the 8th of December, which would be next Monday, that suit will be filed. And the suit is going against the state of New Hampshire. The reason it's going against the state of New Hampshire is because New Hampshire studied the 13th Amendment, and in March of 2013 concluded that the 13th Amendment, the Nobility Amendment, was in fact constitutional law. And they adopted it to their own state laws. Now, there are many that would say that the 13th Amendment was never ratified lawfully. Well, these pages here are pages, if you look, it's 75 pages of different states and territories at different times from 1810 to 1876 that listed the 13th Amendment as the body of law. Even the military, U.S. military, if I can find it real quick, they adopted it. But, like, here are the dates at the bottom of the pages. 1825, Florida, the territory of Florida, 13th Amendment. They can't say it wasn't ratified. They can't say it wasn't part of the Constitution. Illinois, 1827. Indiana, 1883. 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment is the body of law. It cannot be subverted. No attorney, no bar member, go read House Bill 638, New Hampshire, and you will find that New Hampshire actually agreed with that. I will find it if just as I'm working. So anyway, I'm going to file that complaint and get it into the record, going against the state of New Hampshire, because the state of New Hampshire should never have put two attorneys on the ballot to become voted upon as candidates for the presidency, because they are bar members. They could never be sworn into office. It would be against the Constitution. So how in the world could they have possibly done it? The answer is putting Biden and Harris on the ballot in the state of New Hampshire violated New Hampshire law. So that's a problem. And if they can't be on the New Hampshire ballot, how could they be on any other ballot? At any rate, you can go look it up. I believe it was House Bill 638, State of New Hampshire, March 2013.
Here, brother, what should we encourage our viewers to do with this video and with the information that you just gave us?
Everybody needs to understand that the only thing that protects this country is the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. For those of you that are in the military or ever wore a uniform, you took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. You did not take an oath to protect and defend the government, to protect and defend the states, to protect and defend the county, you didn't take an oath to protect and defend the corporations. You took an oath not to an individual, not to a government, not to a corporation. You took an oath to the Constitution, just like I did. And there is no expiration date to that oath. And we swore to the last drop of blood to protect and defend the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. We did not take an oath to protect and defend the bylaws of a foreign corporation known as the United States of America, 1871. Everything you think you know and everything you think you've been taught about the Constitution of the all capital name United States of America is in fact the bylaws of a foreign corporation. Bet you didn't know that. If you'd have studied the Blue Book before you took the oath to protect and defend the Constitution, you would know that. As far as the 13th Amendment that they tell you exists, the Emancipation Amendment, that was never ratified. The whole process of that particular alleged amendment took 2 days. You couldn't get Congress to do something in 2 days today with all the electronics and communications and technology we have today. And yet in 1865, they're supposed to have passed the 13th Emancipation Amendment in 2 days, and 7 states that supposedly passed it weren't even part of Congress anymore because they were still involved in the Civil War. So they listed 7 southern states that had passed the 13th amendment, the Emancipation Amendment, and those 7 states weren't even part of Congress. They didn't become part of Congress till 1877.